They laughed first, because laughter is easier than respect. At a NATO forward camp where uniforms blended into dust and rank usually announced itself loudly, one woman walked through the gates carrying nothing but a small pack and a silence that unsettled people. They mocked her posture, her size, the calm way she looked at the ground instead of their faces. None of them noticed the weight she carried beneath her shirt, or the reason a hardened SEAL commander would soon forget how to breathe. Asterisk. What city are you watching from today? If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe for more stories about extraordinary people. Her name was Mara, and on paper, she was nobody important. No medals listed for display. No entourage. No dramatic arrival. She was assigned as a liaison, a temporary attachment, the kind that stayed quiet and stayed out of the way. The camp sat between borders that never fully slept, a place where alliances met under flags and mistrust lingered behind polite handshakes. The soldiers there had seen bravado and fear in equal measure, and they believed they could read a person in seconds. Mara did not fit their expectations. She spoke softly, chose the far seat during briefings, and never corrected anyone who assumed she was support staff. When jokes rolled across the mess hall about tourists in uniform, her name drifted into the punchlines. She ate alone, finished quickly, and returned to work while others watched her back and shook their heads. What they did not see were her nights. When the camp quieted, Mara stayed awake, studying maps that others skimmed. She traced supply routes, memorized wind patterns, and calculated distances without writing a single number. Her mind was trained to notice the details people ignored, because ignoring details once had cost lives she still carried with her. The mockery sharpened during joint drills. A group of operators tested equipment near the range, trading stories about missions that grew larger with each telling. Someone pointed at Mara and asked if she was lost. Another suggested she should be careful not to trip over her own boots. Laughter followed, confident and loud. Mara looked up, met their eyes briefly, and went back to her task. Among those watching was Commander Hayes, a man whose career spanned conflicts most people only learned about from headlines. He had buried friends and enemies alike, and nothing surprised him anymore. Or so he thought. He noticed Mara because she did not react the way others did. No anger, no embarrassment, just patience. It was the patience of someone waiting for the right moment. The camp faced growing tension. Intelligence reports hinted at a coordinated threat, something designed to test the alliance itself. Communication lines flickered. A supply convoy vanished without explanation. Drills turned sharper, and laughter thinned into forced smiles. Stress revealed who people were, and it began to reveal who Mara was not. During a strategy session, a senior officer dismissed a potential risk route as impossible. Mara cleared her throat once and spoke. She explained why the route was not only possible, but likely. She cited terrain, weather, and timing with a precision that silenced the room. When she finished, the officer stared at her, then waved it off. Experience, he said, mattered more than theory. Commander Hayes did not forget her words. He ran the numbers later and found she was right. Every detail aligned. He requested her presence at the next briefing, curiosity replacing indifference. When she entered, the room felt different. Eyes followed her, measuring her again, searching for the mistake they thought they had made. The situation escalated quickly. A reconnaissance team failed to check in. Drones picked up movement where there should have been none. Plans shifted, voices rose, and certainty cracked. In the confusion, someone asked Mara what she thought. The room waited, not mocking this time, but wary. She answered without hesitation. She outlined a countermeasure that required trust and precision. It demanded that people move quietly and think smaller than they wanted to. It went against habit. It went against pride. Commander Hayes listened, really listened, and gave the order to prepare Dot as teams mobilized. Mara removed her outer layer to secure her gear. The movement exposed her back for just a second. Ink darkened by years of sun and sweat marked her skin. A stylized hawk, wings spread, eyes sharp, surrounded by a simple phrase in faded lettering. Ghost Hawk. Commander Hayes froze. The camp noise fell away in his mind as memories surged forward. Ghost Hawk was not a myth. It was a call sign whispered among a handful of units, a name tied to operations that never officially happened. Missions where failure was not an option and survival was never promised. He had read after-action reports stripped of names, but that symbol was unmistakable. He stepped closer, voice low, asking where she got it. Mara turned, surprised he recognized it. She answered with a place and a date that made his stomach tighten. She named the valley where he had lost a friend, a night where the outcome had changed because of an unseen presence providing cover and guidance from impossible angles. The commander's confidence faltered. He looked at her again, not as an unknown, but as someone who had stood in the darkest places and come back carrying silence instead of stories. The mocking soldiers sensed the shift. Whispers replaced jokes. Respect began to bloom where ridicule had lived. The operation unfolded under pressure. Plans Mara suggested proved decisive. Teams moved through the terrain as if guided by an invisible hand. Threats dissolved before they fully formed. When it ended, the camp stood intact, alliances unbroken. Lives saved without spectacle. Afterward, there was no ceremony. Mara declined attention, as she always had. Commander Hayes thanked her privately, acknowledging the debt he never knew he owed. He asked why she stayed quiet for so long. She answered simply that noise had never saved anyone she cared about. Word spread, not loudly, but enough. The joke stopped. The stares changed. People nodded when she passed, understanding that strength did not always announce itself. Sometimes it waited, patient and precise, until the moment demanded truth. Mara finished her assignment and prepared to leave the camp the same way she arrived. No fanfare, no speeches. As she walked through the gate, the soldiers who once mocked her stood a little straighter. They had learned something no manual could teach. The lesson stayed after she was gone. That respect earned through silence can outweigh applause. That the most dangerous assumptions are the ones made too quickly. And that sometimes the person everyone underestimates is the one holding the line when everything else fails. What did this story make you feel? Where are you watching from? Subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for more real stories that heal the heart.